Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange, and Liverpool could be champions this weekend. Now, if we beat Leicester, we're away to Leicester, and if Arsenal get beat by Ipswich, then Liverpool will have title number 20, and we will be champions of England once again. Now, can I see this happening? Not really. I think Arsenal will probably get the result against Ipswich. I would imagine we'll have a pretty comfortable time against Leicester, so I think we'll both pick up the 3 points, and I think it's more likely to happen next weekend at Anfield against Tottenham, which would be my preference. We are in a luxury position of being able to choose when we want to win the title. It doesn't always pan out this way. Normally you take it whenever you can get it. Because of the form we've shown in the first 7 months, I believe we've got this luxury of I don't want to win it this weekend. I want to win it next weekend in front of the fans. And that's a position we're in. We can afford to do that. In terms of the game against Leicester, look, I'm not expecting this to be any sort of struggle. It should be pretty straightforward. We have the best away record in the league. Leicester have lost the last 8 home games, and they haven't scored in any of those 8 games. So, yeah, I'm expecting this to be quite a comfortable afternoon for Liverpool. And likewise, Arsenal as well. I believe they'll have a comfortable afternoon against Ipswich. In terms of the starting lineup, obviously I want to touch a little bit on the Virgil van Dijk contract situation. Obviously, he's renewed his contract. Fantastic news for the club. It just secures the future going forward with the likes of Salah and Van Dijk. Who knows? It could be enough to tempt Trent into staying, but we shouldn't have to convince players like Trent to stay. But in terms of the game itself and the changes that potentially could be made, look, we're playing once a week now. I think from now to the end of the season, we're not going to see too many changes, and I would probably agree with that in terms of. I think it's probably best. Let's just put a strong team out there and let them go and get these points that we need and get the title over the line. And then we can think about making changes, maybe playing Harvey Elliott a little bit more, Chiesa a little bit more, and people like that. I think we just go with the boys that have done it so far, and just get the 3 points, get us one game closer to winning the title. In terms of what I would personally do, though, if I was in Arne Slot's position, I think there's a lot that can be said for planning for next season. I think we all know, and the whole league knows who's winning the Premier League, and we all know where the destination of that trophy will be. So for me, in terms of planning for next season, I would be playing my players that are in my plans for next season. So I wouldn't play Núñez. I think we might see Núñez towards the latter end of the season. He might get a sort of farewell appearance at Anfield. But I'd be starting the likes of Conor Bradley, who potentially will be stepping up and taking Trent's place next year. We may still bring in a right back. We're unsure. Players like Jota. Is Jota still going to be around next season? With Núñez going, I would imagine so. So I think Jota may potentially be getting those minutes as well. Interesting to see what happens with Diaz and Gakpo. I think if Gakpo starts the majority of these games, I think it could be a sign that Diaz may be leaving in the summer. I believe Diaz's contract is expiring at the end of next season, so this is really the season to let him go if that is the case. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, basically I would be playing the players that I'm planning next season for. Just so I can see exactly where I'm at and where I need to bring players in the summer. And I think us as fans will probably learn a lot about who's going to be leaving in the summer over the next 6 fixtures. The reason I say this is because obviously Arne Slot's press conference this morning, Trent Alexander-Arnold is back from injury and potentially could make the bench. Now, as things stand with Trent, he hasn't agreed to leave Liverpool. He's not agreed to stay at Liverpool. So we're in a bit of a sticky situation. But even if Trent was fully fit, I think my preference would be to play Conor Bradley until Trent commits to Liverpool. And if that doesn't happen, then I would personally still play Conor Bradley in preparation for next season. If Trent was to commit to Liverpool, then I have no issues bringing Trent back into the team. but it doesn't look like he's going to commit to Liverpool. So yeah, I mean, in terms of this game, I know I've probably said it a little bit as well. There's been a lot of negativity around about our current form. We top the form table for the last 10 fixtures. Nobody's got better form than us over the last 10 games. In the last 5 games, there's only Wolves that have better form than us. And of them last 5 games, we've won 4 and lost 1 of them. So, yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of noise going around about performances and about a drop-off towards the end of the season. I've made those same noises myself. I think we're being too critical, and I'm being too critical. I think we have to look at where we were at the beginning of the season. I think we all would have bit the hands off for Champions League football. Nobody, not even the biggest diehard Liverpool fan in the world, would have anticipated us winning the trophy, winning the Premier League, because we had the Klopp leaving to overcome. So yeah, I think when you take a step back and you look at it, you've got to be happy with what we're doing. Yes, the performances could probably improve a little bit, but I think we'll see an improved performance against Leicester. I think this will probably be our most comfortable fixture till the end of the season now. Potentially the home game against Tottenham, because they're just not very good at the minute either. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but that's what I believe. Obviously, just touching on the Arne Slot press conference, there was something that we sort of got our first insight into what Arne Slot wants from a striker. It was asked, will we be looking for a striker, and what is it that we want from a striker? And Arne Slot simply said goals, and that is an easy thing to say, but I think that probably tells us more, because there's been a lot of debate about, does Arne Slot want a Matheus Cunha type player who can drop in the pockets? Yes, he brings goals as well, but he will be more of a Roberto Firmino sort of replacement, not an out and out striker. But I think Arne Slot has just confirmed goals is what he wants from his forward, and I think, I'm not going to go into that press conference too much, but I think there were other elements of that as well, where he was saying, we've been promised a big summer. And what sort of threw me off a little bit was that he classes this as a big summer, signing Salah and Van Dijk to new contracts already. So I think there will be transfer business, but probably not as much as I initially thought. I think this opens the door. So I think potentially 2, at most 3 transfers will be made in the summer. I think this opens the door for Isak, because he wants goals, and we know Isak provides that. So I think Alexander Isak could be high up there on Liverpool's list of targets, and potentially a favourite. And I think that will probably be the first position he'll want to get resolved. So I think Isak probably has legs on it, despite the transfer fee that Newcastle will request. Obviously, a lot of it might depend on whether Newcastle get Champions League football. But I think we might be looking at potentially a summer of a striker and a left back, and then potentially a backup right back. I don't think we'll be looking to do too much business if Arne Slot already classes this as a big summer. But I think we were all expecting it to be quite a few transfers, and yeah, I'm not sure that's going down that way in terms of how Slot presented it in the press conference. Anyway, back to this game. In terms of predicted lineup, this is how I think we'll line up. I think we're going to go strong. I think no doubts about Alisson in goal. He seems to be in the form of his life. He was brilliant against Fulham in the last Premier League game. He was brilliant against West Ham. He was brilliant. He basically won us the game, I think. He got my man of the match. He made some massive saves. So yeah, no doubt, sir. Alisson's going to be in goal. Conor Bradley at right back, as long as he's still fit, which Arne Slot hasn't said he's not. So I think Conor Bradley will be right back. Konate, Van Dijk centre back. I think he's going to go for Robbo left back. Robbo's had about a week and a half off now, so I think that's enough for Robbo to come in and sort of pick up where he left off. I think we're going to see the the midfield three that we've seen most of the season. We're going to be looking at McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. I think Curtis Jones will drop to the bench. And in terms of strikers, I think we're going to see Salah. I think we'll see Jota up front, and I think we'll see Diaz on the left. I just think Diaz's last three performances have been brilliant, and I think it's probably fair for him to start over Gakpo. I've not seen too much from Gakpo in his recent performances, so I think he'll go for Diaz. Personally, myself, I'd like to see Chiesa come in instead of Jota. I'd like to see Chiesa get a chance and obviously make an impact in terms of winning this Premier League trophy. I know it's all pretty much settled, but yeah, I would really like to see Chiesa get a start in this game. Normally I do key battles in these videos, but I don't think there's going to be too many key battles. Like I say, I think it's going to be a comfortable victory. I think we're superior all over the pitch. I think the one place where there could be potential, I don't want to see issues, but where there might be a battle on our hands, I think could be Conor Bradley versus Stefan Mavidi, is it? Mavidi. He's not played in any of the last 8 games at home, which Leicester haven't scored. He came back for the Brighton game, and they obviously 2-2 that was, and he played very well. I think if he starts, he will probably be the outlet, and Conor Bradley will be fine with him. I don't think he's a unbelievable player and he's going to cause us too many problems, but I think that's the only one where I see an interesting battle on the right hand side of the pitch. In terms of score prediction, Liverpool in the past we've had some quite close games, quite a lot of them really, where we've won by 1 goal, maybe 2. I don't think this is going to be one of those weeks. I think this is going to be a performance where at the end of it we look back and say, what a fantastic team this has been. What a fantastic performance. And Liverpool are back. That's what I anticipate us all saying after this game. So I'm going to go for a Liverpool 4-0 win. And I'm going to go for a goal for Szoboszlai as well. I think Szoboszlai will get on the score sheet as well this weekend. Let me know what you think the score will be in the comments. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one.